Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Overrated, Underrated. Thanks so much for all of your suggestions on Instagram. We got literally hundreds, flooding in, and we've tried to whittle it down to a sensible amount. But yeah, there's some really funny ones. We had to exclude some of them because they were not appropriate. But yeah, thank you guys, appreciate that. So yeah, let's get into it.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Stevie Ray Vaughan. You know how to pull on the old heartstrings. I'd say, even though Stevie's got, I'd say underrated, of course, because I'm going to throw this word out there and say Stevie is the best. I mean, the thing is, it's a shame really, because he didn't get to see how much impact he's had on the guitar playing world now. If he was alive now, he'd be just mesmerised by how much impact he's had. It's a shame. It's a shame that you didn't get to see it, but yeah, underrated, the best.
Stevie Ray Vaughan clones.
SRV clones. I'd say overrated, but I am one myself, so insulting myself as well. But I'd say the thing is, if you're starting off with Stevie's style as a base, I think it's actually a really good place to start because there's so many different multifaceted layers. Like it's jazz, blues, rock, bit of country, whatever you name it. There's a bit of that in the foundation of his playing, so it's a really good foundation for you to start off by being a clone of Stevie. So I'd actually say but in the long run you want to find your own sound. We all know that. So overrated.
Boutique pedals.
Boutique pedals. I might have had a different opinion on this a few years back, but since I've started my own company, I'd say underrated. Just because when you watch someone take something from nothing, like a box of bits, and then turn that into something that people can use and gig with and make amazing music with, there's something special about that. And no matter how much people like to complain about the prices of boutique pedals, it's worth it, because you're paying for someone's artisan, hand created pedal. I'd say underrated. YouTube's an interesting one, because I was actually having this conversation the other day with one of my good mates. It's like, if I was growing up now learning guitar, I probably wouldn't be able to focus very well, because YouTube is such a distraction. In fact, we're on YouTube now, always. It's in fact, don't click off the video though. Stay on the video. This is the thing. It's YouTube really is an amazing tool, and it's just you can do anything. You can learn how to play guitar. You can cook, whatever you want to do. You can try and YouTube it, and there'll probably be a guy in his pajamas trying to teach you something. So underrated.
True bypass.
Overrated. People talk about it too much. I mean, it does have its place. You don't want to have 100 different buffered pedals in a row, but I think the old argument is, did Jimmy care if his pedals were true bypass? And the answer is no. In fact, a lot of them weren't. It's overrated.
Pedal memes.
Actually, I'm getting into pedal memes at the moment. It's a good way to communicate with people, isn't it? We all have the same stereotypes about pedals and all these different politics that go within the pedal world and stuff. So pedal memes are a good way to communicate that. So I say underrated.
Reversed headstocks.
I'd say overrated, just because I feel like it's a superficial thing, isn't it? But along with that, you have to actually change the way you approach tuning stuff, because if you spent so long using the traditional layout, to then suddenly have to remember that the low E string is on the other side, and it gets a bit messy, especially when you're gigging. It's like not practical because you're so used to the other way, but they do look cool. You can't deny that. They look ultra cool. It's got that Jimmy thing to it, hasn't it? So but I still have to say overrated.
Pedal packaging.
I'd say underrated, because in fact, funny enough, I've seen a few guys recently have real gripes about people that have nice packaging. He was saying why you know the consumer's paying for this. It's why I have all these extra little fancy bits, but it's, I don't know, you don't want to pay a lot of money for something and then get it in a little jiffy bag, or you know, in fact, and that's the thing, when we started I was using not the best packaging, because you sort of try and find your feet, you don't know what to use, do you? It's just, you know, it's all brand new to you, and slowly we've upgraded our packaging, and now I'm pretty proud of what we've managed to get out to you guys. But it's yeah, I'd say underrated, because you want to, again, if you buy like an Apple product, it comes in like a nice box and you feel like, oh, I'm glad I paid some decent money for it. But if that Apple phone was to come in like, you know, a little bin bag, it's like, you know, it's not going to be. In fact, we should start posting more about some of the dodgy packages we've received in the past. Like we've had some really strange like boxes arrive, and it's just, you know, people have put all sorts in there as packing material. You don't even want to know what some of it is, but yeah, and that's why packaging is underrated.
Pedal Velcro.
Pedal Velcro. Ooh, that's a bit of a strange one. I'm probably overrated, but only because why are we not using something more, like there's so much technology out there now, why are we still using Velcro? But it's a weird one. Probably say there's got to be something better nowadays, surely. Maybe there is, I've just not seen it. But yeah, I'd say Velcro is a bit, it's got to be overrated. It's not the best thing, is it? You know, the amount of times we've had like really rare pedals come to us, and then it's like, it's just some horrible hairy Velcro on the bottom. It's like, oh, you know, yeah, overrated.
Live music.
Oh, live music. As a musician, I've got to say underrated, of course. The thing is, I feel like people don't really, you know, because of YouTube and you know, phones nowadays, people don't really appreciate that. Or if they've not been to a live gig, they haven't felt it, they're probably not gonna have the same emotion towards live music as I do. But when you're all at a decent gig and everyone's feeling it and the musicians are on fire, there's not much better than that, and you can't convey that over a screen sometimes. Well, if ever, you know. So yeah, underrated.
Cesar Diaz.
Cesar Diaz. I'd say underrated. I mean, I don't know if you guys watching have even heard of Cesar Diaz. It's like, his name's not at the forefront of you know, the pedal community, you know, so much. People are starting to know about him more and more, but you know, that he was Stevie Ray Vaughan's guitar tech for a while, and he came up with some really cool not only amp mods and pedal mods, but started to make his own amps and pedals, which now highly revered. And yeah, this is what we took inspiration from with our pedal porn fuzz and the Texan twang and all that sort of stuff. So it's like, yeah, I'd say, man, people wouldn't really know that, so I'd say underrated.
Practice.
Underrated. I mean, there's no substitute for practice, is there? Like, no matter how much we try, you just got to keep practicing, like, you know, day by day. But the thing is, again, this goes back to the YouTube thing before. Like, I feel like if I was learning guitar from scratch now, I'd spend too much time looking at gear and pedals, and I wouldn't have learned to play guitar if I was trying nowadays. Not to discourage anyone that's trying, like, you know, it's just willpower, I suppose. Just pedals are yeah, a big distraction, but in a good way. It keeps you focused and keeps you experimenting with new sounds, which then makes you want to practice. So it's like a good perpetual trap in a good way. But I feel like yeah, there's no substitute for practice, so underrated.
Dumble.
Oh, this is another one, a bit like the Claw and all this sort of stuff. I'm gonna have to say overrated, just because can one piece of gear be worth like 6 figures, like, you know, enough to buy a house in some places? It's just like, for one piece of gear. Oh man. On that note, that just reminds me of that picture recently of John Mayer sat in his private jet holding a dumbbell. It's like the biggest flex picture I've ever seen. Yeah, it's just basically saying, look at how rich I am. But yeah, I'd say it's got to be overrated, hasn't it? How, you know, again, how can one amp be worth that much? I mean, again, amazing players have used them. So Stevie Ray Vaughan, Robin Ford, you know, all these incredible players have used this amp, and it's so highly revered because of that. But I just feel like it's just too much. The price has gone crazy. It's too much. Yeah, overrated. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this random little segment. It's just, you know, hanging out, chatting about random topics. On that note, if you can please drop a comment and let us know what you want to see on these videos. Anything to do with pedals, guitars, you know, anything to do with the pedal industry. Yeah, it's always good to just see what you guys think as well. So let me know your opinions. And yeah, thanks again, guys. I'll catch you soon. Cheers.